Hi, Pisces. Aries season. There is a part of you that feels moth to a flame to everything that sounds good, looks good, appears like it can be helpful, or you can be helpful, something that you want, desire. Venus is in Pisces right now. And Temperance is asking you to be very diligent on your extreme tendencies. To be very nurturing, but to be careful of overindulging in parts of you that aren't actually ready to take the jump Aries season is offering you. So there's a decision, of course, but there's a lot of energy your way. You can do a lot of things with this energy. It's very important that maybe like Sagittarius, like Temperance, then Six of Swords is to travel, to confidently go about your desires the way that you want to, and to indulge where in places where having Venus in Pisces can make things feel slower, more drawn out. There's a part of you that wants to move faster than you are right now, but it's really important, most importantly, to see where your emotions are. Are your emotions capable of moving faster right now? So maybe the best thing for you is the way things are actually moving, and to maybe take some time away. Six of Swords to Six of Wands, to take some time away for yourself, to move at your own pace, to understand that you don't have to have any certain identity in this moment. Aries seasons is very much about the ego and identity, and we just got out of your season, but you don't need to attach yourself to anything right now. Things will come and go this season. Things will feel not quite as they really are. And you can find yourself maybe teetering between being extremely closed off and extremely rigid. And it's really important that if you want to move through this season with more of, and then six is all in a row, 666, which is not always a bad thing. That does not signify anything, does not have to signify anything negative, by the way. Sixes are a beginning of cycles. Sixes are learning to move and find yourself meeting exactly who and exactly what and where you're supposed to meet right now. But also, the Six of Cups can be that things are appearing not as they actually are. So it's important that you continue to move forward in your independence as well as in what it is that makes you feel your most balanced, to not take anything anyone is saying to the extreme right now, because they may be saying something in a couple weeks they can't follow through, and you don't also want to be that person right now, over extending yourself when you know you actually can't commit to that. So it's really important that you find that what you can commit to right now and what you can't. And it may have you check your ego. Just because your ego wants to do it and says you can do all of these things doesn't mean that it's the most beneficial for you and whoever you are, like whoever's life you're in right now, whatever relationships are being built, whether that be monetarily or in a relationship. It's this slow moving thing for a reason. Sometimes things slow down so that you see that this decision or this circumstance seems and appears great, Three of Cups, but it's actually more of the Knight of Pentacles, and it's going to take a lot more of your time and your energy. So it's best that you just go about life then you go to the Six of Wands. You move forward comfortably and independently, detached, knowing that whatever follows or whatever flows with you is meant to. And then the Two of Swords is very much this, you feeling like, okay, why did I do that? Maybe having doubts, whatever that is. But then the King of Swords comes in and reminds you who you are. This Aries, disciplined, very upfront kind of energy is at your door. And what is up front with you is that you may be getting something from someone. This could be very much a love interest, King of Swords to the Six of Cups. You may find that someone only appears in your life when things are going a certain way. That does not have to be taken out of context either. That something appears in your life whenever certain things are happening, certain feelings are being felt, certain situations, maybe the same kind of cycles happening over and over again. And that's where you're learning to discern from more than ever, especially this month when you know things aren't exactly as they seem. And the more I want to say that to you more than anyone else is because by the end of the month, you may have a lot to say and feel very capable and very comfortable and very detached from what you thought you wanted, or what you thought was working, or what you thought was love, or what you thought was just something that it wasn't. And it's possible that you might just have to go through this, but it's also just bringing your awareness to the fact that there's so much more opening up in your life. The first row is Temperance, Queen of Wands, and Six of Swords. And we'll look at this deeper when we look at the second part, which will be in a Patreon link below. I showed a little bit on the Libra video. If you want to take a look at the Libra video, there is what the second part looks like if you've never done that before. But it's basically we look at the cards and go through it much deeper and connecting to other things as well. And it's just sometimes taking a look from that angle, you can read the story differently. But the Temperance, Queen of Wands, and Six of Swords is very much saying that you need to look to your future right now. That even though all of whatever's happening seems great, feels, doesn't feel so bad, it's like there's plenty of substance, but you're just kind of looking at it like, I don't know. And you may want to take a risk with yourself and very independently, very different, in a way that is not an overblown sense of ego, but just really what you want, and maybe a more creative route, which leads you to maybe seeing something in this relationship with this King of Wands in a way that you weren't able to see it. And it could be this part, or King of Swords, excuse me, it could be this part of you that hasn't had the courage to say it, or hasn't had the strength, or just the even wanting to say and speak certain things. But now you're at this point where, yeah, it could be love, and that's great, and I'm all here for the passion and all of the things in between for romance, but I'm really not here for what's been lacking. And what's been lacking is that something that you couldn't see until now. And it might be in between the phases of the moon. So you might feel this between the Libra full moon on the 16th and the solar eclipse on the 30th. And that can almost make you feel like I've been feeling, was just like kind of out of breath. Like you don't want to slow down, that you feel good when you start changing things and start feeling a certain way about yourself and get very much in your power, or back in your power, or utilize your power, I should say, in a way that's more authentic. You'll see it this month. You'll see the slowdown. You see where you put so much energy into these parts of you that are more stuck because you kind of buy into something that was never real in the first place, that had nothing underneath it, and you are actually moving forward from it, even though that can cause you to go in and out of this mode. But then you realize you kind of invited this kind of person and situation into your life, and you're no longer willing to take the things that are just lacking. Like, there's so much good. You see yourself in such a way, and then you're given so much less than what you feel like you want or need, and you're kind of just in this very detached place where you're not afraid to say, like, listen, like this is great. Maybe you're just having a great time, you're learning something, or you're just, having much pleasure for sure, but it's not going to last forever, and you're kind of a lot more vocal and able to say, this is something, this is awesome, this is awesome. It sounds so like, well, I guess you can be like that. Like, this is amazing. I love spending time with you, but I don't really see this going beyond what it is. And you're almost unafraid to be very direct, more than you've ever been. And even in a time where things feel a lot, like, can feel very shady, can feel very confusing, by the end of the month, you don't feel as confused, especially when Venus changes next month. But when Mars goes into Pisces, you may feel so much more attraction towards you, a pull towards you, probably an overflow of admirers or people who have just feel like the courage and the ability to finally speak their mind with you. And there's a part of you that has been waiting maybe for it and like thought you would have more appreciation for this moment, but you almost feel confused because you're kind of like, well, why is it happening now? Like, you might be getting in your head about it. Now that I told you that I don't really want anything serious, you're coming all at me, and now all these people are wanting things from you, or because you're so much more, you may feel so much more unattached to any outcome this month because you're so focused on this Queen of Wands, Six of Swords energy, where you're taking the initiative in a different way, in a different direction than maybe you ever thought you would. There's so much more of a balance with yourself this month because you see the imbalance. You finally really see where you have been slacking on yourself. And this moth to a flame energy is now being drawn to you by the end of the month. And people are wanting this, wanting that, feeling this. And you may be here for it, but you're kind of just like, yeah, I'll give into it for a little while, cool, but like then you're not afraid to check out immediately after. There's so much more boundaries, I should say, being put up, and I think you feel, it just makes you feel more empowered, as it should. Okay? And again, even in the middle of the month when things feel like that, just remember to detach yourself even from the worries, even from something I like to do is just pray instead, turn that worry into a prayer. Maybe you need to get into some water or travel or just do something for yourself, pamper yourself in a way that no one else can provide, you know? That could be really good. As I just play with my hair. Sorry. Okay, so second part will be on a Patreon link below. All information to work with me one-on-one below as well, Pisces, and I will see you next month.